what the heck is going on? It's probably the first reaction that I had when I first started watching this Batman movie. I think I went into this expecting a coherent solo Batman movie, but as I watch it, I now realize it's actually a couple of segments that are strung together. I literally went online because I thought I am watching the wrong thing here. What is the plot of this movie? And then that's when I figured out that Batman Gotham Knight is actually a collection of 6 stories, 6 segments basically, each one with a different, unique art style, but at the end they all try to depict Batman as he goes against the mob world of Gotham. That's what I got when I watched this. And honestly, as I watched this, I get what they were trying to do. It is something different in terms of watching movies. I thought, not bad, but I do have to acknowledge that at first I was confused. I think if somebody watches this and they know what they're getting, they probably would have had a better and warmer reception to whatever is going on. I will say though, it's a bit weird, right? Because on some level there is a connection between these stories, which is Batman is fighting all these mob gangs, primarily the ones they call the Russians. However, it does feel like it's trying to be distinct in each and every single segment. And I can see that because it does have different writers. And halfway through when I was watching this, I was like, bro, I can see there's somebody trying to maintain a connection, but also trying to make these segments unique living pieces. And I just felt like they should have committed. Either we're gonna make this a unified thing and maybe play around with the art styles, or we let the segments be segments. Because my main thing with these segments was I watched these and I felt like I'm watching a bunch of movies where I'm coming in at the last second. It always felt like I was late to the party as I was watching these segments, from the first segment to maybe the 4th. And I guess that's what kind of sort of frustrated me, because the last 2 segments, they cooked. I'm not gonna lie. The Deadshot story and the story about Vuyi trying to figure out pain, there is a proper structure where there's a start to it, he has a goal, and it ends properly with a good conclusion. For the first couple segments, it feels all over the place. Like there's no genuine, like something's missing. It feels like something is missing. But that is just me. So story-wise, I felt like it needed work. The first 4 segments, they could have cooked a little more. But then again, the issue that I'm having with these movies is it seems that the runtime is what's killing it. The runtime is what's actually not allowing them to cook as much as they should. Another thing is the art style. This is what actually carries. When I watch this thing, I can see that it's heavily influenced by Japan. And when I did a little bit of looking, because I was like, I'm confused about this movie, what's going on? I saw that, hey, an actual Japanese studio did handle majority of this art style, and you can see that across the entire segments. Every single segment has an art style that is probably unique to the Japanese anime culture. I'm not saying they're the ones that originated it, but I'm just simply saying you are more likely to find these things in that world. And I will say, the production value here is insane. Like, the words that keep playing in my head is they sacrifice story and focus more on production. This feels like if you gave like creative an IP and said just play around with it. Just like, let's just see where we can grow visually. That's what I got from this. When I watched this, I was more impressed with the visuals and how everything is crafted rather than the storyline itself. Even the character designs, bro, they were so, like, it was so unique. I'll say that. Like, I'll genuinely give this thing that uniqueness is where this thing peaks, bro. Some of the variations of Batman look shaky. I'm not gonna lie. I look at these Batmans, I'm like, bruh, you kind of look like shit. I'm not gonna lie. You understand artistic freedom, but sometimes. But I will say, the second segment and probably the last segment had my favorite versions of Batman. And the first one that I liked, he looked so menacing, bro. He looked like the Dark Knight. Big, strong, literally him. And the last one, nah, that's just a team fit. I'm not gonna lie. That is just a team fit. I will also say the other character designs that really spoke to me were the Deadshot design. Man, I think he looks insanely cool. I fuck with whatever he's doing there. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure about the Batman design for the third story. I'll show you a visual of it as I'm editing this. I don't know. I genuinely don't know about this one. I feel like I want to like it. Not happening, bro. And you know, I have to be honest, shout out to the action sequences as well, because all the fighting, all the gunslinging, all the explosions, I was like, you know what? There's production value and good sequences here that can keep you entertained, even if the story isn't that compelling to you. I will say you don't have any time to like connect with characters. Like I said, for me, the last few episodes really good because you met some other characters as well, where you got to connect with who are these people and how did they help move the story forward. Other than that, I'm just like, alright, man. Basically, I would sum up this movie as needs a bit of work in terms of storytelling. Production value and visuals are insane. Action sequences, absolutely do the most. So that's literally it. I walked away feeling like this should have been a series. You know what they're doing with Star Wars, where they gave a bunch of creators different episodes and art styles? I feel like they should have just let them cook like this. Don't turn this into a movie. Turn this into a proper series. Give me 6 episodes and give me like a proper story if you want it to be like a golden thread, big baddie at the end type thing, right? Because that's another thing that I felt. If they had just let these be separate stories, I would have been fine. But because there were moments where I felt like the story was starting to connect and there's a golden thread, a part of me wanted a big baddie at the end, like somebody to like kind of sort of close it off. And I guess maybe that's what happened with Deadshot, but Deadshot was cool, but he wasn't like main antagonist type of vibe that I got. And I think that's the words that I'm looking for. If they had just a main antagonist at the end, it would have made the golden thread that they were trying to sow here pay off. So I reiterate, great production value, great action sequences, and probably great music, to be honest. However, where it falters is a story for me. Not a fan of the story.